Hello students, welcome to the first lecture of Mathematics 2. The code of your subject is UMA 004. So before starting the topic, let me introduce you to this course. So for this you need to go to the website where you will find the syllabus and the course structure. So to get the information about the course, just type UMA 004, that's your subject code on the Google, then open this first page. Then as soon as you open this first page, you will find this website. Now this website you will find all the notices over here, and if you see on your left hand side, you will find out the syllabus, tutorial sheet, study material by different professor, and also the video lectures, previous year question papers. So first of all, let's have a look on its syllabus. So I press this first and there is a lot of options. So the first one is syllabus of mathematics 2. So let us have a look on the syllabus. So okay, so we will start with this ordinary differential equations, and then we will move on to the Laplace transform, then Fourier series, and then linear algebra. So what are the important books you have to follow? You have to follow Simmons for differential equations, Krishnamurti for linear algebra, and mainly Jan Anger for both linear algebra and Laplace transform and Fourier series. I'll just show you the course handout so that you will get which topic you should study from which book. So just look at the evaluation scheme also. You will have mainly three kind of test: MST, EST and sessional. So MST will be of 30 marks, EST will the weightage will be of 50 marks, and sessional will be of 20 marks. So let's see the course handout. So again go to this website, and then you will find out the second option as course handout. So just click on this. So as soon as you click on this course handout, you will find that the first topic we need to cover it from Simmons. Okay, so you have to study these sections like 1 to 7 for first and two lectures from this book. Again you can see that lecture 2 6th lecture will be covered from the section 8 9 10 from this book. So this course handout gives you all the information that which book you should refer and which section you should refer for the given topic. So as you go down again, the textbooks are written over here. So you need these books: Simmons, Krishnamurti and Jan and Anger. These are the three main books you should look for. And the evaluation scheme I have already discussed. Now let us again go back to the website and see. You will also find the tutorial sheets over here. You will see that all the tutorial sheets are will be uploaded over here, and you will begin with tutorial sheet 1 for the differential equation. Then in the section study material, in your left hand side, you will see that there are notes given by different professors, so you can just go through the notes if you want. Then you can see that here is question for practice from books. So you can also see this, that these are the questions which are given in the website. You can open this and try as your lecture proceeds. And these are the exam activities. Here the question papers from the previous years are given. So you can see the question papers. These are MST for the mid semester and ESTs for the end semester. So this was all about the website. So now we will start with our first topic, that is on differential equations. So let's start our topic. So in the first lecture on the differential equations, I'll tell what are the differential equations, why they are useful, what do we mean by the order and the degree of differential equation, and what do you mean by linear and non-linear differential equation. So these are the topics which I'll cover in this first lecture. So the differential equation is mainly an equation which involves derivatives, or you can say differentials, of one or more dependent variable with respect to one or more independent variable. That means that equation of this form is a differential equation. Here this y is your dependent variable and x is independent variable. That we have only one dependent and one independent variable. So I'll write another differential equation. This is another differential equation which is particularly called as partial differential equation. Here you can see that y is your dependent variable and x and z are independent variable. That means that this variable y is depending on the two variable x and z. That means I am saying that y is a function of x and z. So you can see that these both are the differential equation which involves a derivative of one or more independent variable with respect to one or more independent variable. So broadly we have categorized the differential equation into two parts, that is ordinary differential equations and partial differential equation. So in your course we will talk about mainly this differential equation, that is ODE or ordinary differential equation, and we will touch a little bit of partial differential equation, but our course is mainly focused on solving the ordinary differential equations. Now here arises the question, like, why we are studying these differential equations, why they are useful. So since you all know that we are living in the changing world and describing how things change, we often end with differential equation. So let us see one example of rabbit population. So suppose that you have a rabbit population, and it is logical that if you have more rabbits, we will have more babies of the rabbits. Okay, and then those rabbits will grow up and have babies too. So the population grows faster and faster. So we can model this phenomena by just taking that if we consider p as the population of rabbits and dp by dt the population's rate of change, then we see that the rate of change of population is proportional to the population at that instant. So we can say that the rate of change of the population is proportional to the population at that instant. So now if we remove this proportionality, we will have a constant. So this is a growth rate. So now if you solve this differential equation, okay, so you can see that you finally ended up with the differential equation. Now if you solve this differential equation, what will you get? You will get something like this. Okay, so this r is a growth rate. Now if anyhow this r is determined, and if we know the initial population, this is my initial population and r is my growth rate. So if we know these two, you can see that any time I can tell the population of rabbit. Like if you ask me after 100 days how many rabbits will be there, I will have a prediction with the help of the solution of this differential equation. So you see that how powerful mathematics is. With seeing the physical phenomena, you modeled it through the mathematical equations. Now if you consider another example of a spring and weight, you see a spring gets a weight attached to it. So like this, like there is a spring and there is a weight which is attached to it. Then you see that weight gets pulled down due to gravity, and as the spring stretches, its tension increases and the weight slows down. Then the spring's tension pull it back. See, you can see that the spring tension is pulling it back, and then it will fall down again, then up again, down. Now what you need to do? You need to describe this with mathematics. Interesting that there is a physical phenomena and you can model this with this phenomena with mathematics. Let us see how. So that from the Newton's second law of force, that force equals to the mass into acceleration. Then you know that acceleration is a second derivative of the position with respect to time. So we can write this as, like I can write a as equal to this. So my equation this will become this. Now you know that the spring pulls it, like pulls the weight back, it is based on how stretched it is. So suppose that K is the stiffness and X is how stretched it is. So F is equal to Kx. Now both should be equal. These two forces are always equal. So we end up with this equation, and this equation is again a differential equation. So you now know why solving this differential equations are so important. So in this course we will learn how to solve these differential equations. So let's begin. Okay, so already we have seen the two categorization of differential equation. The first was ordinary differential equation. So what is ordinary differential equation? An ordinary differential equation is an equation in which there is only one independent variable. So all the derivatives occurring in it are ordinary derivatives. So let us take an example. This is a ordinary differential equation, because you can see that we have only one independent variable. This is our independent variable. Y is dependent variable. You will say that the y is dependent variable. So if you see in a differential equation, if you have only one independent variable, that is called as ordinary differential equation. I can write another example also, like if I have this differential equation, you can see here also that you have only one independent variable, that is x, and here you can see that y is a function of f of x in both the cases. So here we have only one independent variable, so we called it as ordinary differential equation. Now let's see what is partial differential equations. So the partial differential equations are the equations that involve more than one independent variable. So the derivatives involved in it are called as partial derivatives. So for example, if I take y as a function of more than one variable, suppose that I take it as function of two variable, then I will write a partial differential equation as this. These are the partial derivatives, because you can see that y is depending on two variables x and y. So whenever we have more than one variable involved with the derivatives, it is called as partial differential equations. This is also a partial differential equation, because here we are having again more than one variable. You can have 3, 4, any number of variable for partial differential equation, but for ordinary differential equation you will have only one independent variable. Now let's see what do we mean by the order of the differential equation. So the order of the differential equation is the order of the highest derivative involved in a differential equation. Now what does this mean? I'll explain you with the help of examples. Suppose I write this differential equation and ask you what is the order. So you can see that the highest order derivative that is involved in this differential equation is what? This 2. So my order will be 2. Now let us see another example. If I ask what is the order of this differential equation, what I wrote it over here, you can see that the highest order derivative involved in this equation is this 3. So here the order will be 3. Let us take another example. So if I ask this differential equation is of which order, see here in this the highest order derivative involved in the equation is 2. So here the order will be 2. So I hope order is clear. Now we will see what do we mean by degree of the differential equation. So the degree of the differential equation is an exponent of the highest order derivative involved in the differential equation when differential equation satisfies the following conditions. Like firstly, what is the condition? That all the derivatives should be free from the powers that are fractional. That is, we should make the equations that are free from the fractional power, any positive or negative, any power, we should make the derivatives free from the fractional power. And also there should not be any involvement of the highest order derivative as a transcendental function, trigonometric or exponential. Like if you have the highest order derivative in the equations like this, here the suppose that you have a equation like this. Now you can see that the highest order derivative is involved in exponential function. Okay, so here the degree is not defined, so you have to take a look that whether all these conditions are satisfied for the differential equation, then only you can define a valid degree. And degree does not require the variable like x, t, whatever variable you have to be free from the radicals and fractional power. So if you do not see the equations in this form, then you can reduce it into the form which satisfies all these conditions. And if it cannot be like reduced, then we will say that the degree is undefined. So let us make this definition more clear with the help of few examples. So now if I write 3y square dy by dx to the power 3 minus d square y by dx square is equal to sine x square. Now if I ask you what is the order, okay, it is very simple, that you can see that the highest order here is what, this is 2 is the highest order in this equation. So for this we will get order as 2. Now what is the degree? Degree is the power of the highest order, so this has degree 1. This was my first example. Now see the second example. If I ask you what is the degree of this? Now here you can see that the derivative has some fractional power. So we first have to reduce in the form where the derivatives are free from the fractional power. So what we can do is that square. So what we can do, we can square. So squaring both sides, what we will get? We will get, now you can easily answer that what is the order and what is the degree of this differential equation. So here you can see that my order will be equal to, here the order will be equal to 3 and the degree will be equal to 2, because the highest order derivative has a power 2. So this is the order and this is the degree. So now let us see what is linear and non-linear differential equation. A differential equation is called linear if every dependent variable and every derivative, these two words are important, that every dependent variable and every derivative involved occurs in the first degree only. So you have to be sure that the dependent variable and the derivative should be in the first degree only, and there should be no product of the dependent variable and the derivatives, and also there should be no transcendental functions of dependent variables or derivative. So if these three rules are satisfied, you will say that the differential equations is linear, and if the differential equation is not linear, it is called as non-linear differential equations. So let us see some examples to clarify it. So now if I ask what is the nature of this differential equation, whether it is linear or non-linear. So what you have to check, that no derivative, this is the derivative, this is the dependent variable, are in degree 2. So we can see that there is no derivative and dependent variable which are present in degree 2. So the first condition is satisfied for the linear differential equation. Now again we will see that whether there is some multiplication between the dependent and derivative is present or not. We can see that there is no multiplication between the derivative and the dependent variable is present. So again the second condition is also satisfied. Again we can see that we do not have any transcendental function that is involving y, that is dependent variable, and the derivatives. So this all conditions are fulfilled for linear differential equation, so we will call this as linear differential equation. Okay, so now if I ask you this, what about this differential equation? Now see, this is non-linear. Why this is non-linear? Because you can see that you have a derivative which has degree 2. So this will be non-linear because the first condition is violated. Non-linear differential equation. Okay, so if I ask you, what about this equation? Y dash is same as dy by dx. This is same as dy by dx plus sine of x. We can write it like this also, y dash. It represents the same thing. So if I ask you whether this is linear or non-linear, you can see that the derivatives and the dependent variable are in degree 1. There is no multiplication present, and also the trigonometric function is a function of x, which is independent variable. So there is no problem. This is also a linear differential equation. So this is also a linear differential equation. Now the last thing, that if I ask that whether this is a linear or non-linear differential equation, so obviously this will be non-linear. Why? Because we are having a trigonometric function as a function of the dependent variable. It is important to see that we have a dependent variable in a trigonometric function. So this is non-linear differential equation. So I hope that the basic terminology of the differential equations are clear. So now we will end this first lecture here. Thank you.